the person. I don't want to get into the debate. You know, there are, as I said when I'm speaking on these matters, if we could just divorce the cultural and historic things and just look at it from a practical, rational point of view as we are moving to a newer, better Jamaica. Yeah, these are things that we have to address, and we have included now in our new cabinet the Ministry of National Security and Peace, because we are now going to be deliberate in moving now from crime to peace. Right? Right, so it's not just the absence of violence, but it is the deliberate pursuit and guardianship of the safety and security of the people. It is the peace of mind. Right? That is what we're going to be pursuing. So we actually did do a very intense study on the issue of violence in the society. We empaneled a commission, and they have given us our report, and that report will be made public, and we go through an entire process of bringing in the entire society into this discussion as to how do we secure peace. Now just think of this. There's a community, some of you may know this community, it's East Kingston and Port Royal. And then there's another one, Central Kingston. And those were our historic residential and business communities on the waterfront. I mean, the waterfront anywhere in the world is the highest value real estate. But those communities, crime and violence took them over. But since our efforts in reducing crime, particularly the internecine gang wars, we are noticing that investors are taking some risk. We are seeing a major housing development taking place in East Kingston and Port Royal, right? And in Central Kingston, there are at least 3 developments going on, 3 high-rise buildings being built. That's the peace dividend. And when you bring peace to communities, people will invest. And that's how you get growth. So we are going to continue to press on the gangs, but we are also seeking to build peace. And this, I'm stopped at these 3 things. But if you put all of these things together, Jamaica has never been in this position before, maybe at the beginning of our independence journey. But we've never had these alignments before, where we are dealing with some of the intractable problems, but having the kind of foresight in planning for the next stage and level of development. So if you think of it, what was the thing that concerned most Jamaicans? Crime, cut in half. Our murder rate has now moved from about 50 per 100,000, we're about 25 per 100,000, and we're going to continue to push to what the regional average is, which is about 15, and we want to go below the regional average. The US is about 3.6 per 100,000, we're heading towards that. Now can you imagine, we are getting 4 million tourists per year, with that level. Can you imagine if we're at 3? I mean, we wouldn't have had, as you say in Jamaica, right? And that's what we want, right? We push. The debt was as high as 144%. Now it's at 60, and we will probably, I don't want to speak about fiscal targets, but we'll certainly better the target. The target is to be 60% debt to GDP. I'm certainly will do better than that. We're now 2 grades below investment grade. When you're at the investment grade, you don't really have to borrow, but when you're at the investment grade, you get the lowest interest rates. People consider you a safe haven for them to park capital, and that's where we want to be, right? It's just to move from there to investment grade, we have to satisfy some of the demands of the people. So the political pressure does not create a political economy that destroys the fiscal discipline. And that's why we're doing some programs to release the pressure and the pressure points and the pain points of the people. So we have the Spark program, we're doing 660 roads across Jamaica. We have a massive water program, a massive highway program, a massive housing program. We have to do a review of the social safety net program part because it seems not to be properly aligned with what we offer versus what people need. Part would be the equivalent of your social security program. We have to rethink that to make sure that it is effective. We're doing massive things in rethinking our electricity arrangements, reduce energy in the country. So, we're taking all the right steps to improve the quality of lives of Jamaica. So my closing point is that Jamaica is at an inflection point. An inflection point, for those of you who know mathematics, is when the rate of change of a curve, it increases more rapidly. And so for us, our inflection point is that the rate of effort is going to yield far more results, and therefore we're I think, in a good place, and I'm privileged, I consider it, and humbled to be at the helm at this time. And again, I thank you for your attention.
Good evening, everyone, and Honorable Prime Minister. It's a pleasure to have you join us here today. My name is Dr. Althea Andrade, and I'm a psychiatric mental health provider, and I currently work in the state of New Jersey. Now, my question is, in light of the recent suicide of former Miss Jamaica Universe, who publicly shared her struggles with mental illness, how is Jamaica collaborating with international partners on non-governmental organizations to strengthen suicide prevention programs?
Do you want to take all the questions?
Sure. Well, yes, you can do that.
Okay. All right, Dr. Morgan.
I think since there was
that was the same
since there was a medical question.
This is psych. Well, so you can go ahead.
Honorable Prime Minister, thank you for coming and sharing your time with us. Dr. Michael Morgan, aka Hope. So my question is in regards to medicine and the hospital system in Jamaica. I've actually worked at KTH for 2 years, and I was just wondering, is there any fast track agenda in terms of improving the entire healthcare system as it stands right now?
Good evening, PM. My name is Karen Wilson Robinson. I'm currently the president of the Mecca Alumni Association and with Team Jamaica Fiscal. Last week, this time, we were in Jamaica doing a presentation of AEDs to schools. Recently, or just a couple of days ago, we got a form was, distributed from NET that has a lot of requests for information that, quite frankly, as an attorney, would appear to be a chilling effect on folks who are trying to bring things into the country to give away to our students, to give away to families, etc. What, if anything, can the government do to alleviate the challenges that we're having to bring things into the country that we are giving away? Our distribution last week were 23 AEDs for a value of over $70,000 for monies that was sourced here. While the NET form requests the source of the funding, again, as an attorney, I can understand that. I can't understand why you need all of my personal information, all of my income resources, and all of those of the directors on any of our boards sending stuff to Jamaica. So we need to do something about alleviating the challenges of giving away things to Jamaica to enhance Jamaicans.
Okay.
Thank you all for your excellent questions. Let me start with the third. So this is exactly what Prime Minister is speaking about. That as we have enhanced our institutions and built our compliance and sought to ensure that we have strong institutions and systems that will ensure that we are, for example, off FATF list. I don't know if you recall, but when this administration took office in 2016, we inherited a report that was conducted by FATF Financial Action Task Force in 2015, which said that certain things needed to be done systematically, or systemic challenges needed to be fixed in order for Jamaica to be compliant with FATF rules, with the anti-money laundering and counter-financing of terrorism rules globally. And we set about fixing those. We got that report in 2017, 1 year into an administration, and we set about fixing those. During all that time, we were listed. We were grey listed, we were listed on the EU list automatically, etc. And all of that had implications for banking rules, for accessibility, for financial inclusion, for your ability to open an account, for what processes institutions need to ask of you as a donor, as a banker, as anything, as someone doing business. Even you would know that there are difficulties using your credit card if it's issued from a bank from Jamaica. Some sites wouldn't accept it, etc. And we set about fixing those things. Part of that has resulted in processes that become strangleholds, that become unduly bureaucratic, just as Prime Minister was explaining. This is one example. So we've established the NET, and you may wish to know that Prime Minister was the conceptualizer of the NET, the National Education Trust, which does provide some tax benefits for charities donating to partners in Jamaica. And it does reduce the cost of giving. But we also have other challenges, as I've just explained. So we just came off of the FATF list last year, 2024. So we're working our way through in terms of how can we pare down and streamline systems to ensure that what is requested is what is necessary and not beyond. Having fixed some of our systemic issues, we now have that flexibility. We didn't have that flexibility before, so we can do that. Similarly, we also have constraints for fiscal stability in terms of the value of discretionary waivers that can be granted in any month, if you can believe it. And even types of waivers that can be given. So you in your mind, you say this is $70,000 and we're giving it, why do we have to pay something more? And yet we have to say at this time, maybe cost it for 50 and the 20, because we have only a discretionary amount that can be granted per month. But that will expand, it will change, it will improve. But right now, even for example with motor vehicles, so you can't, we've had this perennial issue with ambulances. We need ambulances, of course we need them, but the cost for the waiver per ambulance set us over the threshold on a monthly basis. So if you're giving an ambulance, literally you need to fund how that works for the donation. Although it's streamlined, it's not perfect. So we're working at it. It is difficult, I know, because really the issue is how do
Minister, you may
we...
want to make that point crisper, that once the thing that is being given is costed, and there is custom revenue attached to it,
Yes.
then the government has to account that it is giving that up.
account for the revenue that is foregone.
Yes.
In order for...
Right, and so that has an impact on our accounts, our national accounts. And so we have set a limit as to how much revenue we can forego. That's a part of the fiscal discipline, the fiscal management. So it's hard for the people. I'm giving you this. Why are you,
Why is it costing me?
Yes.
So Prime Minister is explaining in a far more professorial manner what it means to forego revenue and what it is that the government, or how it impacts the government when it is that we have to, if we do not charge the duties and the fees that are usually applicable by the customs department on things which come into the country. One of the things that we are doing, by the way, is to reform customs. We know it has gotten easier. We know that it is different now than it was 10 years ago, but it can still be better. And there's a new Customs Act that we started work on, went through a joint select committee process, etc., and made it through one chamber of parliament. Had needed further change, but it will come back under this new administration. We will do more, we will do better, I can say. But I understand the problem. It's not immediately fixable, but it is fixable, and we will get there. So I give you that assurance. In terms of the medical system generally, so we have a lot happening. I think I'll take the side question first because it is the easiest one to answer because I am actually unable to answer it. I know, no, because I know Minister Tufton is here. He's having the meetings with international organizations, but I haven't had that brief yet, so I don't know what exactly is being done in that regard. I can tell you that domestically, we have a new mental health program. Not only do we have a school-based program that dealing with our primary and high schools, you have wellness benches and a new program to destigmatize mental health issues so that people feel more at ease to speak about anxiety and depression and other conditions that may not even be recognized. It's no longer, it's no longer politics to just talk about mad people. As we once did, there's a destigmatization program and speak out. There's a new 24-hour hotline where you can get counseling. There's a 1-888 New Life, which is specifically focused on suicide counseling, and it may be that first touch that allows you to find someone who you can speak to. And there is a line for young adults, and then there is a line for general population, which would include. There's also additional training that's taking place in respect of mental health. So there's, even at schools now, they have the wellness bench, where you encourage young people that if something is feeling wrong, or even staff, that you can take time out, that you can just sit there. And on a much lighter note, I will give you the joke that I don't know if you were following on social media when KFC had their 50-year celebration, and they were, people were out getting their one box free, and they had one of the most popular memes that were circulated on that day was same Dr. Tufton sitting on the wellness bench thinking about his NCD program and what was now happening with all the people eating so much KFC. but the point was, and that was just organic, non-regulated content, that somebody just thinking about the reality that here it is that the government is advocating for better care of your bodies, for better heart care, and here it is. But you must take time for the wellness bench if you have a problem to think about. So it's getting in there, so there's a lot happening. And what on you asked specifically about international organizations on suicide, and that I'm unable to specifically answer. So my apologies for that. But Mr. Tufton is here, so I'm quite sure he must be doing something, and I encourage you to check out his page. He may well even have a statement out about it.
Thank you so much.
On the general medical, I see you looking at me. I know I'm coming to you. 3, 1, and 2. Your question is longer, but there's a lot that's happening. Jamaica actually is undertaking one of the largest or greatest scale of construction in the health sector. We have the Western Children's Hospital, which was a gift from China that's under construction now. That will be the largest and most modern health institution for child and adolescent care in the region. It will be a regional institution. It's being built in St. James, and it will serve the region. Similarly, there's a new Cornwall hospital that is being built, and it is way raised out of the ground now. It is to be completed next year, is it? Next year. And when that is done, St. James will have the largest concentration of hospital beds in the entire Caribbean. we will have the largest number of beds present. There is a new KPH that is to be built. The land has already been identified, yes. So we have 27 new operating theaters that are going to be built and expanded in this new term. We are continuing to expand our health centers. We're focused on primary health care. We've already renovated and upgraded 138 health centers. 65 have been renovated with the help of the diaspora. And by the way, New York, South Florida is way ahead of you guys. So South Florida has sponsored, I think, 3/4 of the diaspora adopter clinic programs. If you remember, it's $3 million, $1 million a month, divided by 160. $1 million a year, divided by 160. And the funds are used to upgrade equipment, build more dignified surroundings,